Good morning, Southern California, your hometown station, KHTS. Host Fred Arnold on the Santa Clarita Business and Real Estate Show, joined by mortgage professional Jake Young.
Hey, Fred.
Good to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me back.
As always, I understand you have a great friend and guest.
I do, yeah. As you know, Fred, I've been doing residential real estate lending for about 15 years now. Mm-hmm. And part of that process is when you go to buy a home, you're working with home buyers, and they go to buy a home, they're going to have to open escrow. And part of that process is you'll typically do a pest inspection or a termite inspection of a property you're going to buy. So the guest I'm having today is the expert at doing that. It's Cardon Ellis. Cardon Ellis is a lifetime Santa Clarita resident. You've been in the pest inspection business for over a decade?
A really long time.
Yeah, a really long time.
Some would say way too long, but I actually like it, so I'm not going to be that cynical.
Well, that's positive, right?
Yeah, very
You're good at it. So I just want to ask you a few questions that would help our Santa Clarita community out there, particularly if you're going to be buying a home. And in that escrow process, you have a pest inspection report done. Do you do that report? If so, what work is done on your side to do a pest inspection or to do an inspection of a home as far as termite and pest stuff?
Okay, that's a good question. So every pest inspection is different. Now, there's a lot of misnomers out there. Sometimes it's called a termite inspection. Sometimes it's called a pest inspection. Yeah. The truth is, it's actually formally a wood-destroying organisms inspection. I know that sounds a little bit hectic and a little post-apocalyptic, but what the state's
Zombie
interested
apocalypse. The termites are going to eat their way through our home.
You have to worry about The Walking Dead and fungus and dry rot. So it's called a wood-destroying organisms inspection. And we're actually looking for anything that would threaten the structural integrity. It's oftentimes called termite inspection because that's the buzzword that we see in the cartoons, and we think, oh no, termites.
Right.
But people don't realize dry rot will actually destroy wood in a home at a faster rate oftentimes than termites will. So it's called a termite report, but what we look for is any wood-destroying organism, which includes, you got subterranean termites in Santa Clarita, you've got drywood termites in Santa Clarita. Those are the ones that make those little sawdust-looking pellets.
Yep.
You've got 5 or 6 predominant types of fungus and dry rot, which is not mold. That's its own separate
So dry
report.
rot's not mold, it's just...
Can be very related.
Got it.
Can be very related. Oftentimes the same moisture conditions that cause mold will cause dry rot, and sometimes, if you're lucky, the remediation of one or the other will also fix the other, but it is indeed separate. However, the one that most lending organizations look for is the WDO report or the termite report and that infamous clearance.
Yes.
That everybody wants.
I got to tell you, Jake, being a mortgage professional and seeing these transactions, you look at them all the time. I've been looking at them for 27 years. The bottom line is get a termite inspection. Get an inspection because you're not going to do that over the next 10 years, but your house can be getting eaten away. And there's just simple, small things they can do to preserve your home.
Yeah, buying a home, Fred, it's going to be the biggest financial investment you ever make. And so it just makes sense to bring somebody like Cardon in to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, if you will. Know what you're getting into. Know, there's some serious problems here, or maybe there's not. And there's also ways, Cardon, you can probably help preventative work that you can help as far as treating that home or taking care of that property so it doesn't get some of these serious things that you're talking about.
There are so many measures. I mean, when it comes to WDO work or termite work, I believe it was Benjamin Franklin that originally said that 1 ounce of prevention is like worth a pound of
something
remediation
gold.
Something like that.
Gold's gone up in price.
Yeah, I'm completely botching
maybe
this.
a pound of Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's 1 ounce of prevention is worth a pound of repentance, or whatever his phrase was. When it comes to termite work, that rule of thumb completely applies.
Yeah.
There's actually these chemicals we have now that the active ingredient, it's called Boracare, for example, is one. And I don't want to bore your listeners with a bunch of techie talk, but the active ingredient is disodium octoborate tetrahydrate. The keyword being sodium. It's literally this salt water. It's a glorified salt water that soaks in through the wood when a home is built or when you buy a new house and you spray it in the attic. And it's like a chemical barbed wire that slowly soaks through the striations of the wood until it solidifies and hardens. And those salt crystals create literally kind of like this chemical barbed wire. So when termites try and eat that wood, or swarmers come into your attic and they try and burrow in, it scratches their exoskeleton and it dehydrates them to death.
Nice.
So you literally protect by spraying and never have to do it again.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have that preventative treatment, would you go by once a month? Is it once a quarter? How often do you get treatment done on your house?
Okay, so the general industry standard is if we find something, we take care of it with one of the many measures we have. Orange oil is really popular right now because you don't have to move out of your house and it smells really, really good. My wife used to hate it when I came home and she'd force me to like get undressed in the garage and take a shower before I could associate with the rest of my family, except for when I come home from orange oil jobs. And she's like, oh, that kind of smells pretty good. So orange oil is really popular right now. It's very eco-friendly, very family-friendly. You don't have to move out of your house. And we do other stuff too. We spray for bugs, a lot of black widows and ants and spiders and rodents around here. Pretty much whatever we find, we address. If it's a termite issue, usually it's a one-time deal, and then you get on a small renewal program. There's no such thing as termite insurance out there. No termite company has no insurance company has figured out how to insure against termites. So the individual termite companies become the insurance program, usually for a small fee, about 10% the original job. We come out every year and we re-inspect and we retreat for free any problems that might have happened, because the sad fact of the termite world is sometimes they do come back.
Right.
And it's important to protect that investment.
It's like bad 80s styles. They just keep coming back. The Canadian tuxedo, it's coming back.
I love it. I got one of those.
And they're good. I mean, they're good.
So, Cardon, those that want to reach out to you to get a professional opinion, how can they reach you?
Ooh, it's super easy to remember. It's 661-BUG-7575.
Love that.
So just BUG-7575. That's all you got to remember.
Got it. Jake, thanks.
I think mine's super easy too. 661-755-8555. If you have any home loan questions or if you want to be in contact with Cardon.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake. Thanks for bringing in a great guest and Cardon. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Santa Clarita Business and Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, on your hometown station, KHTS.
And now, a